Welcome to the Gold Plus Roundup, the monthly show where we review all the free games with PlayStation Plus and games with Gold. We give you a review of every single one of the games to tell you which one of these is worth your time, because time is money, and your time is valuable, like money.
So we'll go ahead and start with Rime, which you really enjoyed.
I loved Rime. At its core, on the surface level, it's a puzzle game on an island with some mystery, and the truth of what's happening in that game and the story that it's telling is remarkable. The way that it is telling a story through flash forwards and flashbacks with cryptic images that are I don't want to spoil the game, and don't look up a walkthrough, because the walkthroughs all spoil what the game is about and the representation of what every single thing in the game is representing. So try not to look up a walkthrough unless you have to, because the game is amazing in its portrayal of the thing that it's portraying that it doesn't tell you it's portraying. I wish I could tell you more, but it's wonderful. I figured it out a couple hours into the game, it's very, very subtle but wonderful. So I really recommend this game.
There you go.
And you played Grand Kingdom. You love Grand Kingdom, right?
I did, and I would recommend that as well. Grand Kingdom is a strategy RPG that has it has combat that's unlike anything else that I've seen in an RPG. The story is fantastic. The characters are interesting. I really enjoyed it. It gets incredibly deep, and it takes a while to figure out what exactly you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be managing things. And honestly, one of the best things that you can do is whenever you plan on starting the game, install it a week before and just log in every day, get the bonus.
Yep.
and then come back and play it after that, because you get daily bonuses. You're able to interact with other people. You're able to participate in wars by choosing which side of a conflict you want to be on. It is incredibly deep, especially for a Vita game. I expected this. I had heard that it was a good RPG. I did not expect this level of customization and intricacy. So highly recommended, especially if you're into deep multiplayer strategy RPGs.
Yeah. I'd recommend Shadow Warrior. I did not play the original Shadow Warrior, but this Xbox One reboot, if you will, is amazing. I mean, you got swords, you got guns and magic. It's from a 90s shooter, and it stays true to form in that it's cheesy. It's like an Asian what's it called? What's the Duke Nukem? It's like Asian Duke Nukem. It's cheesy. It's quasi-racist in some kind of ways. In my opinion, I'm like, awesome. That's touchy. But I really liked it. The level design can kind of suck a little bit, but I would put this up there with the new Doom in regards to first-person shooters. But this one kept even more true to form as a 90s old-school shooter. I loved it.
Next up is Knack, which got a lot of hate right when the system came out, because they were like, oh, I can't believe that, this was a $60 launch game. This is a garbage $60 launch game. Okay, maybe $60 is a bit much for this title, but I enjoyed it, and my girls had an absolute blast with it. The story is a little bit simple. It's a little bit obvious, but there's some characters in purple that are very clearly the bad guys, and my girls were like, I don't know, I don't think I trust that man in purple. And I was like, yeah, you're not supposed to. He is very clearly being lined up as the bad guy here. And so it's fun to watch kids have something that's kind of on their level. There were a couple of things that they wanted me to do for them, and I said, no, you can handle this, because the game is very forgiving and allows you to keep coming back to it. The multiplayer is also really, really well done, because the other player can just pop in, and then when the second player dies, then there's like a 5-second delay, and then they can come back in. So it's a great game for you to play with someone younger, and then whenever they stray off the screen after 5 or 6 seconds, it will just warp them back onto the screen. So it's fantastic for those of you who are parents if you want to play something with your kids. Highly recommended for that particular audience.
Yep. Another one I'd recommend for a particular audience, and more than I'd expect, is Split Second. You guys know my feelings on racing games and how there are way too many of them, and most of them are mediocre. But Split Second is pretty fun. It's a kart. It's not a kart racer. It's more of an arcade feel. But the way that the tracks, the way that the interaction with the characters or the way that the interaction with the other cars is designed feels like Mario Kart. I mean, you're constantly trying to screw over other players, and that's what I loved about it. You are also part of a reality TV show as part of the plot, which I thought was really interesting. Right. It reminded me of Death Race 2000, which one of you may know what the heck I'm talking about. Not the new movies that make no sense, but Death Race was a Roger Corman future movie where it's a reality show, and all the drivers are like basically celebrities because everyone likes them so much. Not that they're celebrities beforehand, and they kill each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what this is, and I loved it. What'd you think of Exile's End, by the way?
I think that it is a great Flash game released in 2007. Now it's pretty dated. There wasn't really much to attract me to it. It's very forgiving, as every time you die, it just puts you at the beginning of that screen. But that also encourages you to, every time you get hit, just die, so that you don't have to deal with the situation later on. And you pick up a gun that has infinite bullets, but you can't tell what you can kill and what you can't. And so the game doesn't do a really good job of telling you what you're supposed to be doing or where you're supposed to be going. It controls clunky. It's just not. It's a decent student game, or like I said, a Flash game that came out in 2007, but it's not particularly fun. I look forward to seeing what their next project is, what they learned from Exile's End and what they move into it. It works for what it is, but it's really not fun or great.
I feel you. Well, that's kind of how I feel about Crazy Taxi. It's just dated. It's really dated. It is. So Crazy Taxi, I mean, this is a 360 game that's a remake of a PC game that came out in the mid 90s.
Right.
It's dated on dated on dated. Is it fun? Sure. Yeah, it's fun.
But for how long?
For 10, 15 minutes. I mean, until I want to play something else. Now, this does come with the arcade version as well as the regular version, which I appreciate.
Okay.
But I'm glad I got it for free. If you're not familiar with Crazy Taxi, you go pick up people and you drive them to their destination, and you get more money.
You drop them off and they make motions.
And you get you get bonus money for evading. You obviously get more
speed
money
and
quicker.
tricks.
Yeah. I mean, it's speed, and also if you come close to hitting a car but you don't hit the car, you get money. Yeah. It actually gives you a bonus for that. So I'm glad I got it for free. It's cool for nostalgic purposes, but just wasn't digging it.
What did you think about Assassin's Creed Chronicles India?
I really liked it. I've liked all the Chronicles games. It takes Assassin's Creed and it puts it into a 2D platformer, and I enjoyed this. The story, I feel, it gives you a little bit more information on what was going on with the Templars and the Assassins outside of the core games.
Yeah,
I think that Assassin's Creed fans will really enjoy it and will really enjoy the subtleties in that. But the gameplay is really good as well. The puzzles they're not. I mean, it's not really not too heavy puzzly. It's more action and trying to sneak your way through different areas and not get killed. So I liked it. If you like the Assassin's Creed games, I'd check them out, because kind of like the Lara Croft Temple of Osiris game. It's different than the full core game, but it does pretty well.
All right, and then the last one we have on the list is Mugen Souls Z, which is a tactical RPG. Lots of sex, lots of numbers, lots of customizations, it seems a lot deeper than I think either one of us thought.
It's deeper in regards to the numbers, kind of, but I wouldn't say it's more exploitable than any of us thought, and I don't mean that in just the fact of the skimpy clothing. I mean if you do it right in the first dungeon, you can max out your characters' levels, and that's kind of dumb design. It's all about the numbers and how high the numbers can go, and how many numbers can get on the screen, because they're just in your face all the time. And so are the boobs, and I feel weird about that because I don't know the age of these girls, because they're anime, which means they're between the ages of 8 and 40.
Yeah, anime girls are I just assume that anime girls are 18 always, forever, which is too young for me, but I don't have to feel bad about it.
Speak for yourself. But I mean, I think they're really. It just gives me this feeling of like, I don't know if I should play this, and if you're playing it around people who don't know what.
You definitely don't want to be playing it while other people are in the room.
That's what I was going to say, because the moans and the winky faces aren't too bad, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's...
Well, as long as it doesn't have like a rubbing game where you're supposed to remove clothing by scratching. Because that's a thing that has been in anime games before, but it's not in this game. So those are our reviews for the PlayStation Plus and the games with gold for the month of February 2018. And we will see you next month.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.